Word on the Street.
Good afternoon and welcome to Word on the Street on Salford City Radio. I'm Lewis Cubban.
And I'm Amy Coleman.
How are you, Amy?
I'm good, alright.
This morning, we were out in the streets of Salford asking people for their thoughts on Kim Kardashian and Keira Knightley, who recently featured in naked photo shoots. We'll be asking Emma Cairns, a media teacher based in the North West, if some of us are guilty of double standards.
We're also joined in the studio by Rachel Jones and Luke Donner, two first-year students at Salford University.
How are you guys?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Not bad. Are you all set for Christmas?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just getting the last bits of shopping done.
You been to the markets?
Yeah, I have. I've actually finished my Christmas shopping already, so...
Mine's
for
all
once.
wrapped and ready.
Markets are way too busy for me.
I've not started at all, which is great.
Now, in her spare time, Rachel uploads videos to the website YouTube, whether it's in front of her family in the student accommodation or while she's walking down the street. The interview is now about her life, sharing a small part of your life, just discussing what's going on and how you deal with the uni life. Here is a bit of Rachel in action.
Hey friends, I thought I'd have a go at July favourites. Okay, so the first thing I've been loving this month are these Bleach London hair crayons. I only have 3. I got them in out of the blue, Bruised Violet and Washed Up Mermaid. They're really handy if you just want to put a few colours in your hair and you want it to wash out. Gaming wise, I have been playing Tomodachi Life. It's absolutely hilarious, like it's basically Sims but with knees. Hopefully I'll try and do this regularly. Quite a lot of ideas so far, so I should be able to do them regularly, at least once a week.
That was Rachel Jones, also known as Rach Does Not Vlog on the website YouTube. We're joined in the studio obviously now by Rachel. What initially brought you to YouTube?
I think of a lot of it was that over the last, 4 or 5 years, I've spent a lot of time watching other people do YouTube. So, as it's been going, I've been getting more and more interested. And then, obviously, it got to a point where I was like, I actually really want to have a go at this and see where it took me.
What do you think YouTube brings as a medium that's different to the likes of television or radio?
I think it gives people who don't have, proper cameras or anything a chance just to upload what they want. And so they can put themselves out there rather than, trying to get on telly or something, because obviously that's not very easy. So it's, free for them to do whatever they want to do.
And what vloggers do you like to watch?
I like lots. I don't really have favourites or anything. I quite like Dan and Phil, who also do radio, and a lot of smaller YouTubers like Luke Is Not Sexy and Emma Blackery and people like that.
Luke Is Not Sexy.
I love that name. I think I might steal that.
I think you're quite sexy, Luca, too.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
So obviously there's a lot of money in YouTube. This is something that blows people's minds. Usually you have the likes of Jenna Marbles, she's a millionaire. PewDiePie, approaching billionaire at this point. Is that something that you'd like to do, earn money as a full-time job from YouTube?
I think so, because it's more of a personal job, so you're not stuck in an office and you're not trying to do something. So I think it would be really useful to earn that kind of money from doing your own thing rather than having a proper job. But I think it's quite difficult though, because you have to get I think it's 10p per 1,000 views. I'm not really sure, because I don't really...
I've not heard that. Do you know anything about this?
No, it's all. I think it works off ad revenue, and so Google will take a big proportion of revenue, and then the YouTuber gets a certain amount. But I would quickly want to ask, what initially got you interested into it? I mean, most people don't just sort of go, "Oh, I'll make a video." I don't feel the urge to.
I think a lot of it was before, where I said because I've been watching people, and then obviously I'm doing a TV and radio degree, and a lot of the stuff I want to do is camera work. So it was more of a self-sufficient way of doing my own camera work while getting involved as well in front of the camera, rather than...
One thing that YouTube is terrible for is horrible people commenting. Do you get that?
Not really. I don't really get that many comments on my videos, so I don't have that much of a problem.
And the process of making a YouTube video, obviously, when we make a radio show, it takes us a little while to come up with ideas, but we're doing things live, you're editing things. How long does it take to come up with an idea, make a show, edit it, and then release it?
A lot of my ideas are pretty spontaneous. I'm not that good at forward planning ideas. If I've got one, I'll write it down and then keep it for say a Christmas video. I'll obviously keep it till Christmas. But a lot of them are quite spontaneous. I did a video on Tinder, and that was purely just because my flatmate had spent the week on Tinder and she was going on about it, and I was like, oh, I could make an interesting video out of that. So that happened. That was quite spontaneous.
Well, thank you very much, Rachel. We'll be talking to you later on in the show. Now, next up, we are going to be talking to Luke Dudley, who has perked up a few times already in the show. Loves to talk, don't you? Don't you, Luke?
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Like Rachel, you're a student at Salford University. You're looking for ways to seize your initiative. Since he was 15, Luke has worked alongside production companies in London on live events. From Lou Reed at the Hammersmith Apollo to touring with Shakin' Stevens. What's that about?
Yeah, well, we were work experience in year 10, and we were told go out and find something. And so I've always been interested in theatre, and in our local park we had a big concert, and every year the concert was on, I'd spend most of my time watching the people doing the lighting and sound and not the people on stage. So I chased them up and asked whether or not I can go along, and my first day of work experience was at the Hammersmith Apollo rigging lighting for Lou Reed, which was a bit of an experience as a 15-year-old to be chucked in there with all these people running around trying to get everything set up and ready for the show. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay for the show, but it was an experience nevertheless just to be in a venue like that that's so famous on the music circuit, and to be able to set up like that, it was awesome.
So was this the first time you've done anything like that, or was it?
I've done theatre before, but I hadn't done anything on that scale. Like, if you go into, I don't know if you've been to the Hammersmith, it's huge. I think it seats maybe like 2,000 people. And so to walk into a venue and go onto the stage and see just that is phenomenal. And to see I didn't realise how many people were involved in terms of building the show. It was up that night when we were getting into the venue. I think it was like 5:30 in the morning. And then with local crew, which is when people in the local area, they just shift things. That's their job. They go in and they shift things around. And so it was a long day, but it was heavy.
Did you have the chance to meet any artists when you was working as a lighting technician?
It's been good, actually. I've had the opportunity to speak to a couple of people. So when I did a show, and Rick Astley was one of the artists performing, and so I got to speak to Rick Astley when he was sound checking, and genuinely nice guy.
I imagine so.
And I was in catering and sat down on the table with Rizzle Kicks, but I didn't know it at the time. I didn't realise until they walked out onto stage, and I'm like, oh, I recognise those people. I just had dinner with them, and I was like, oh wait, hang on. You just don't know it. Like, you go into the industry and you sort of know the name, and you sort of vaguely know what they look like, but when you don't expect to see them, you don't expect to be sat there eating dinner with them. Yeah, it's a bit odd.
That's chart music for you. Have you had any instance like that, Rachel?
Well, I work at the Holiday Inn, and I do breakfast shifts, so like obviously we have a lot of people, and because it's in Media City, like sometimes BBC Breakfast people are in. So like last week, Clean Bandit came for breakfast, but I don't really know what they look like either. So I had the kind of same situation where I was like, okay, I sort of recognise these people, and then just sort of didn't think anything of it, and then I was on BBC Breakfast like later on, and I was like, oh, it was Clean Bandit.
So have you got anything else coming up, Luke?
Not at the moment. I'm working in theatre at the moment, so we're preparing for pantomime season, which is kicking off very shortly, which is always good fun.
Are they long shifts?
Not too bad, 2 or 3 show days, mainly 2 show days. So but no, panto is a laugh, isn't it? I mean, even for watching and being behind the scenes, it's always good fun.
Fantastic. Well, we'll have more from Luke and Rachel later on in the show. Coming up after these short messages, we'll be getting Emma Kearns on the phone to talk about Kim and Kira, and whether the differing reactions are the fault of the public or the media.
See you after the break.
You're listening to Word on the Street, brought to you by Salford City Taxis, getting you from A to B in a jiffy. Call us on 0161 924 7373.
Protests are being held for the second night over the death of a black man held in an apparent chokehold by a white New York police officer. Thousands of people took to the streets in New York and other US cities, disrupting traffic and holding sit-ins. The protest began on Wednesday after the grand jury decided not to press charges over the death of Eric Garner. A New York woman who filmed the incident has voiced their disapproval at the decision.
This is like a slap in the face right now for us to get this verdict read down that the cops will not be prosecuted. The police officers now are going to have cameras on their uniforms, so their cameras is going to tell the truth, but my phone is not. It's the same footage, and the camera doesn't lie. The footage doesn't lie.
In sport, Manchester United travelled to St Mary's this evening to face a Southampton side who, despite a mass exodus in the summer, find themselves firmly in the top 4. United manager Louis van Gaal is keen for this side to improve their attacking play.
I think we have to dominate more. I think against Hull City we are dominating. That's why I was so pleased. And we could have scored more goals also. But 3-0 is a very good result. against a defensive team. But I like to play always like that. But that's not possible. And I know that also in advance.
Kick-off is at 7:45. Over to Amy Coleman for the weather.
In weather tonight, any remaining showers will clear and a very dry and fairly clear night. A widespread frost is expected, but cloud will increase by dawn, bringing outbreaks of rain across Cumbria.
Salford Radio. You're listening to Word on the Street.
Welcome back. You're listening to Word in the Street with me, Lewis Cubban.
And I'm Amy Coleman. We're still joined in the studio by Rachel Jones and Luke Dudley.
We'll be all happy with Foggy winning I'm a Celebrity last night.
I missed it.
I missed
didn't
it
see
as
it.
well.
I did know the outcome, so it's okay. You didn't ruin it, but I did. I missed the final.
Well, I'm sorry if I did spoil
okay.
it for any of our listeners, but
No.
yeah, Carl Fogarty, who I didn't know before the
I've
show.
never heard of him, no.
Seemed like a nice guy.
I'd heard of him, but that's because my dad likes superbikes, but that's about it.
I
He
really
seemed-
wanted Kendra to win.
He seemed like more of a celebrity though than the other. Was it Jake who was left over? I don't
I
even
don't
know where
what-
he.
I don't know
where he's from.
I don't know where he came from though.
He was on
It-
X Factor, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he might be like the Chantel who just turns up. He's not a celebrity, just gets involved. Why did you want Kendra to win?
I like May. I think she's really funny. I liked her and she was in like other programmes. My
Kendra,
favourite.
Kendra,
Kendra
who's
Wilkinson.
from Playboy.
Yeah, the play.
I
Well,
think
she
it's a-
used to be, yeah.
I think it's a shame that Craig had to leave because I reckon he would have gone through to win.
He's brilliant,
Yeah.
Craig.
He's a really funny
If,
guy.
if you're around Media City, you can sometimes see him sitting on park benches with glasses of wine. He's a lovely character.
Yeah.
Kendra Wilkinson, who poses nude in Playboy, well, that's a little bit similar to what we've got coming up now. Now, some of the biggest stories in the last month have been centred around female celebrities revealing all in naked photo shoots. British actress Keira Knightley posed in front of a camera in just a pair of jeans and declaring that she didn't like her body being manipulated with post-production software such as Photoshop.
We went out on the street and asked people why they thought about this.
I think it's really positive that she specifically requested that it wasn't photoshopped because she's just being her true self. There's so many pictures of women that have been photoshopped in magazines, and as a girl myself it's really frustrating to see these women because you know that it's not what they really look like, but they're encouraging us to try to buy products so that we can look like them, even though it's just never going to happen. So I think it was really brave of her to do it, and yeah, I've got a lot of respect for what she's done, to be honest with you.
I think the Keira Knightley picture is quite fantastic actually because there's no effects and it's just au naturel, and I think that's what people want to see more nowadays because everything's over the top with colours and aesthetics and everything, but I think really what you want what's underneath the looks really, and I think Keira Knightley's trying to prove that by doing this, and she's going for the women, she's doing it for the equals.
Fairly positive. Well, the other celebrity bearing all was Kim Kardashian, who wore very little for the photo shoot with Paper Mag in November. I don't really understand what Kim Kardashian is famous for, to be honest. But we went out on the street and asked people what they thought about this.
I think it was the amount of editing was just ridiculous, especially when you saw the unphotoshopped version compared to the Photoshop version. They made her waist look ridiculously small. You know that with her frame, it just doesn't make sense for it to look like that. I think it was completely necessary. I think it's quite tacky as well, the way it was done. It's not in a classy way.
The Kim Kardashian picture, I think, is completely ridiculous. Nobody's that perfect, a bottom shining, So I just think it's not natural at all. You can tell it's been photoshopped to hell. Yeah, and you've seen the opposite picture with where she's not been photoshopped, and she just looks like an ordinary, normal woman. I think that's what really society wants nowadays. Yeah, I just think she's gone over the top with it. She's trying to make herself look like someone she's not, and I think that's what the star really is. That's all she's all about, really.
Not so positive then. Now we're joined on the phone by Emma Kearns, a media teacher at the King's College in nearby Wigan. Emma has been involved in the media industry for a number of years. We are now pleased to have her on the show. Good morning, Emma.
Hiya.
Hi, and what did you think of Kim Kardashian's Paper magazine photo shoot?
It's not so much what I think of just Kim Kardashian. It's both of them really. I don't think I think we've got to be very careful about how we talk about them because we're seeing Keira as being brave and Kim as being sort of exploitative, but I think both images are quite negative for women.
Hi, Emma, it's Lewis here.
Hiya.
There are a few statistics that garner released, it says that 58% of teenage girls feel pressured to be a certain weight. They also say the average size of the idealised woman, as portrayed by models such as Kim Kardashian, I imagine, or Keira Knightley, has stabilised at 13 to 19% below the healthy weight. What do you think that this means for a young woman living in the UK?
I don't know if it is necessarily the media that pressure women. It's the fashion industry more that puts that pressure upon women. The media is part of that. A lot of other reasons contribute towards why girls necessarily begin with and develop eating disorders and negative body images. So I think we have to be very, very careful when we say it's the media. The media isn't a unified body. It's lots and lots of different organisations. So lots of women don't develop eating disorders as a result of being exposed to these images. And everybody that you spoke to on your show before knew that they were photoshopped. So I think we have to be really, really careful when we say the media.
Now, Luke said during the Vox Pops that the Keira Knightley photo was photoshopped. What's that?
Well, no, it's not. It wasn't photoshopped, but it's not a clean picture, is it? It's heavily filtered. I mean, you've applied all sorts of filters to that, so it isn't a clean image. It still isn't just au naturel, so to speak. So that I guess women are still kind of sensitive about the whole thing. They still want to edit it in some way.
I agree with Lewis, because it's a monochrome image. It's not her sort of on a beach, sort of frolicking around, or there has been a comedian who did her own version of her just in a bathroom, sort of turned and sort of took her own selfie of it. That's a real image. I mean, Keira's is heavily, heavily filtered. She also has quite an androgynous body, so again, it's still an element of an idea of perfection. She's not a normal-looking girl. I think one of the real problems really is because it's Kim Kardashian, and it's more to do with what she represents in the media. It's more really, I mean, Keira said women's bodies have become a battleground, but it's more than bodies. It's about who somebody is. It's more Kim bashing for the sake of not liking the Kardashians and what they necessarily represent. So I think it's become an issue about women's bodies, but it's not really.
So Rachel, we've obviously, as a young female who's a student, there's another statistic here which is just, it's ridiculous. 9 out of 10 women want to lose weight. What's that about?
I think it's the same. I think it's like the ideals in magazines, like when you see an image of like a model who are like normally like size 6, 8 maybe, like there's people like, I know people that are like a healthy size 10 and they're perfectly fine weight, but if they see like a size 8 model or a size 6 model, they're like, oh no, I have to be that weight, like I'm overweight. And it's like, you're not, like you're fine for your size and stuff like that.
Sorry, Emma, go on, carry on.
Is the response though to the model, is it really to what the model's wearing?
I'm not really sure, because I think it depends, because a lot of the time, like if it's a fashion show, like some of the clothes are just ridiculous anyway, so it's more like the size of the model.
But most images that we come into contact with are just, you turn the page and it's, something to say new look or, Topshop. So sometimes I think it's more an aspirational response to the clothes. It's more than just the model. The model represents how they want to project themselves. I really think we have to be so careful with body image being blamed specifically on people like Kim Kardashian and Keira Knightley.
So Emma, finally, do you think that the reaction to it has been more a humorous reaction to Kim Kardashian, or is this a serious issue in how we've said, actually, no, Kim's wrong for doing this or that?
The bigger issue is, why do women who both are successful in their own right need to take their clothes off to get a point across?
Thank you very much, Emma. That was brilliant. I hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Finally, Luke, can we just say, is there a problem for men when you see male models, or are you not too bothered?
I'm not too bothered. I mean, I guess there is some, I guess, at times, if you're having a bad day, there may be some envy where you're like, actually, I think that would be nice to look like that, because I think a lot of the girls generally like to try and chase that kind of person, but I mean, it doesn't really bother me all that much.
Well, I think you look amazing just the way you are.
Oh, stop it.
Well, thank you to Emma for coming on the show, and to Luke Dudley. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, thank you very much.
And to Rachel Jones, say goodbye.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Good luck with your studies. This has been Word on the Street. I've been Lewis Cubban.
And I've been Amy Coleman.
Bye for now.
Salford Radio. You're listening to Word on the Street.